I mean, I did this match in Mexico where I broke the light tube over the girl's head, and I looked over and saw a piece of glass on my thumb. I'm wrestling, you know? So blah, 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 blah. We get done. I go to the back, and it's gone. I'm like, oh, it must have fallen out. So months and months go by, and I go to open a bottle, and I was like, and this is stuck in my thumb, right? So I'm like, I know there's a lot of, like, tendons and whatnot in your hand, and I still have health insurance thanks to my father. So I went to the doctor, and I was like, look, I got this thing. And she was like, it's probably just, you probably just pinched something. I don't think there's any glass in there. I was like, all right. So finally, it's just bothered me. And finally, I just like, fuck it. I cut it open, and it's like that long.
Oh, my God.
Just sitting in my thumb. And I find glass, you know, everywhere, places in me, you know, and then you'll take bumps, and you'll take stuff that, like, you have to get stitches for, and not like companies are going to pay for those stitches, you know. So there's a market for it, but it has to, it's not worth it a lot of the times, you know. Like, I did it to make a name for myself, but, you know, like Pondo, I don't know how that man walks. He is fractured. Okay, his back went out one time, and it was during a normal match. The guy sandbagged him. Boom, back out. So we actually, when I first kind of met, and I took off school that day, and I took him to the hospital, and, you know, because he was having, like, bad back spasms. He couldn't stand up, sit down, lay down, nothing. And the doctor comes back, and he's like, bruh, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, his spine had been fractured from years ago that he just never got addressed.
Oh, my gosh.
He has, like, scars everywhere. He has, like, he had a glass right here, like, the same thing I had. His finger was just like, this man's his tooth hurt one day. It's on YouTube, everyone's YouTube, but he was like, all right, I'm going to pull it out. Pulls out his own tooth. He puts, like, pliers on a paper towel. He sits there. It was for this guy's DVD. So I was like, yeah, I'll just pull this out right now. And I was not with him, and I was, by the time of the month, I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to pull his tooth out? I don't even there. But he is, like, he is a walking Superman. Like, he's been through he's been thrown into TVs with frozen turkeys thrown in the TVs. He's had his ear ripped off. He's had his skin, like, flapped open. His skull's been fractured. This guy was doing a moonsault, and Pondo saw that his foot slipped. Pondo's a nice fucking guy. Like, dove to catch him. There was a bolt sticking out. Boom. Skull fractured. He just super glued back together.
Oh, my gosh.
It's this big old... So it's definitely, like, not everyone's Pondo. You know what I'm saying? Pondo did years and years of death matches, and especially girls aren't, guys used to be gladiators, you know, they're used to, like, rumble and tumble and get their bodies thrown. Mm-hmm. Girls I even accept that girls aren't made to do that. And
we're a little softer.
Yeah, and it wears and tears on girls more. You know, we're not made to do that. So I think that there needs to be something fucking awesome for girls to go out there and do what they do. Because I know from experience that it hurts, you know, so...
But, you know, you've traveled the world doing these kinds of matches in Mexico, Germany, and were those built-up feuds, or were those just those kinds of companies that had that kind of a following and could put on a match like that and it'd be legit?
Yeah, those companies would have, you know, if I would have gotten hurt, they would have paid for that. But, you know, it was like every once in a while thing. Mm-hmm. And in other countries, I've only wrestled a girl. I've wrestled a girl in Scotland and in Canada, but all the other times have been dudes. Like in Germany, I was in an 8-man with dudes. In England, me and Pondo tagged against 2 dudes. In Scotland, I've wrestled 2 dudes. And, you know, it's kind of the oddity, you know, like I get my ass beat for the whole match. Against all odds, I got my badge stapled.
And somebody staple your badge.
And had to no-sell it. Well, it was supposed to be like, I don't have any balls, and I was supposed to staple him, and he sells it. But then, staple happens so fast. They're really, you know, they're cool. They're like, I'm like, yeah, I've had my tongue stapled. I don't know how many times. So he like goes to do it, and I go to take off my bottoms, and it's like, ah. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, and I was by myself, so I'm like, I can't be like Pondo, because I was by myself, so I was like, okay, just rip it off like a Band-Aid. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
no
like
one
a Band-Aid.
How to handle that kind of situation.